Dear students, we have already read earlier the real numbers in part 1, 2, 3. Now we will start the polynomials, which is chapter 2. Let us now define what is a polynomial. A polynomial with one variable x can be expressed as px is equal to an x to the power n plus an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus dash 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 plus a1x plus a0, where n is a non-zero negative integer. This is important. Non-negative. What does it mean? Non-negative means less than 0 is not possible. It may be less than equal to 0, not less than 0. So 0 may be there. So a may be a1 to an. All these things, all these a1, an, these are known as the coefficients of the term, variable term x. X to the power n related with an, x to the power n minus 1 power related with the coefficient a to the power n. To make a sequence or to guess easily, that's why it has been written in this way. A1 x to the power 1, a0 x to the power 0 means a0 x to the power 0, x to the power 0 is always 1, so it is not written 1. a0 into 1 means a0, so it is directly written as a0. Here is also the power of x, but x power is 0, it is not mentioned here. So n is a non-negative. Anywhere this a may be 0, but it must not be negative. Minus 3 x cube, it will not be a polynomial form. Okay, it is written there always, it will be this one. N x to the power n minus 1. This is x to the power minus 3 minus 1 becomes x to the power minus 4. This will be 1 by x to the power 4. It will not in a form of polynomial. Polynomial always the power must be in positive form. Suppose 3x square plus 2x plus 5 is equal to plus 5. So here the power is 2, here the power is 1, here the power is free term means constant term means power is x to the power 0. Any constant a, that is equal to a into x to the power 0. X to the power 0 is 1, so it is not mentioned here. So it should not be 3x to the power minus 2 plus 2x plus 5. It is not a polynomial. It is not a polynomial. Not a polynomial. Because the power here is x to the power minus 2. N is negative, so it cannot be a polynomial. So only one thing, the polynomial n will be always positive or 0, but it should not be negative. The constant real numbers, that's where a0, a1, an, here it was written in ascending order, descending order. It is now written in ascending order. A1 to a0 are all constant real numbers. Whatever that may be an, suppose 2 by 3 is equal to a1, a0, 5 by 6 is equal to a1, 2 is equal to a3. We may write whatever we may like. It may be real number, irrational number, or rationals, whatever that may be, but only restriction is n must not be negative. This is the only important. What is the minus a3 term? What is minus a3 term? It has no meaning. Okay, a3 means the third term. If we are writing a fourth term, a0, a1, a2, a3, so a3 comes to a fourth term. But what is minus a3? Minus a3 term, it is meaningless. So always written that an should be non-negative integer. Degree of polynomial. This is important only to remember for future studies. Non-negative degree of a polynomial. So what is the degree of the polynomial? Where it is a variable. X is known as the variable. So this variable, the highest power of the variable containing the polynomial is the degree of the polynomial. Suppose an, then the an x to big sum. Why? Suppose an x to the power n plus an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1, all these two terms only. If you take that an is equal to 0, it will reduce to, it will become 0. Because if we will multiply the coefficient is 0, then x to the power n is 0. So from where it will start? It will start from an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1. What is the power of x to the power n? X. Now the power of x is n minus 1, not n. Because where it was n, that coefficient is 0 means that is totally abolished. That term was vanished or omitted. So started from n minus 1. So what is the power now? N minus 1. So what is the degree? N minus 1. So the only restriction is that an must not be equal to 0. If an will be 0, then the degree will be reduced. That is mentioned here. The highest power of x in a polynomial px is called the degree of the polynomial px. The degree of 1 is this polynomial equation. Polynomial, not equation here, polynomial is n, provided an must not be equal to 0. Because if an is equal to 0, then the an x to the power n term, better write your term, becomes 0, and thus the polynomial reduces to the degree n minus 1. So therefore this restriction is there. An must not be equal to 0. Types of polynomial. There are various types of polynomial. Depending upon the polynomial, we are categorizing the polynomials depending upon the degree of the polynomial. The linear polynomial. Linear polynomial is always where the variable is, the highest power of the variable is 1. Px is equal to ax plus 1. What is the power? Px is ax plus b. X power is 1. So that is the linear, where ab belongs to 0 and a is not equal to 0. This restriction always will be there. Where is the highest power of the polynomial? Any coefficient, that coefficient must not be 0. If this will be 0, is there any polynomial of variable? No, it is only a constant term. Because x a 0, a to the power x vanishes. So likely the example is given. Px is equal to 3x plus 2, x the power is 1, so it is linear. Px is equal to root 2x minus 5. This root 2 does not matter whether n is non-negative, negative. This is important. X to the power, this n. Okay, this is n means only a number, numbering n, it is the first term. N means here it is the first term. You read this, it is the first term. It is not n means how a root 2, not this. It is n means first term here, first term. So it should not be 0. Quadratic polynomial. Quadratic polynomial where the power is 2. Ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c all belongs to real numbers and a is not equal to 0. That is everywhere. A is equal to 0. If a is equal to 0, it will be linear. A quadratic, if the highest power will be reduced, it will be transferred to linear. 3x square minus 5x plus 7. Now here the power of x is negative. Okay. Px is equal to minus x square plus root 3x. This minus immaterial. X, what is the power? X to the power 2, x to the power 1. So it is again a polynomial. Cubic polynomial. Cubic means the power is 3. Ax cube, it is the standard form. All these things are standard form. All are standard form. In general form. Standard form means general form. X cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. A, b, c, d belongs to R. A is not equal to 0. For example, 13x cube minus 5x square plus 7x plus 2. This power is, am I right? A is not equal to 0. Because it is 13, not equal to 0. Biquadratic. Bi means 2, quadratic and quadratic means 2 times quadratic means the power is 4. Ax to the power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e. All a, b, c, d belongs to R. A is not equal to 0. For example, it may write anyone can write anything, no matter, only the power should not be negative. For any type of polynomial, the coefficients of the term, which is the degree, must not be 0. That is, if an is equal to 0, I have told earlier this thing, then, but the next coefficients a, n minus n must not be a 0, no restriction. But the next coefficient, if 0, it is immaterial. suppose ax square plus 3 is equal to 0. If you write in, it is a quadratic because the power is 2. If you write in the exact form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, you will write this 1 into x square plus 0 into x to the power 1 plus 3 into x to the power 0, this term, where the second term coefficient is an is equal to 1, not equal to 0, an minus 1, this term is 0. Okay, this should not be 0. For a quadratic, the highest power should not be, coefficient should not be 0. Thereafter, there is no restriction. It may be 0, it may not be 0, whatever that may be. Only restriction is here. This should not be 0, but this may be 0, no problem. Suppose 3x square plus 2x plus 5. It is no coefficient of any power of x is 0. It is okay. 3x square plus 5 is equal to 0. If this coefficient becomes 0, x to the power 1 becomes 0, still then it is quadratic. But if this will be 0, it will not be quadratic. Okay. Value of a polynomial at a given point. Suppose we are writing that px is equal to this. So when px is equal to this and k is any real number, then the value of the polynomial at x is equal to k in px is called the value of the polynomial. Px at x is equal to k, pk. What will be pk? If px is equal to x, just you put in place of x k, then that will be the value of the polynomial. Suppose px is equal to x. If pk is equal to, you put just k is here. Suppose that x is equal to 2. What will be the value? At x is equal to 2. 5 into 2 square minus 4 into 2 plus 2. 20 minus 8 plus 2 is equal to 14. What is P2? P2 is 40. What is P3? The value will be different. What is P minus 2? It will be different. What is P0? You put x is equal to 0. Then it will be just 2. Because this 0, it is 2. 0 of a polynomial. What do you mean by 0 of a polynomial? It is very often in the next chapters. It is a very vital thing. You should remember. 0 of the polynomial means at which point the polynomial, the value of the polynomial will become 0. That is the 0 of the polynomial. Do you find that at x is equal to 2 is the value of the polynomial 0? No. What it was? It was 14. But at which, is there any point where we will put that point, the value of the polynomial will be 0? We will read later on. For a linear polynomial, px is equal to x plus b, a is not equal to 0, implies k is equal to minus b by a, because ax is plus b, it will be 0. Ax plus b will be 0. That will be 0 of the polynomial. This implies ax is equal to minus b. This implies x is equal to minus b by a. If you will put the value of x is equal to minus b by a, then px, this is px is equal to, this px became 0. Just to verify. A, what will the value of x? Minus b by a plus b. This is equal to plus a minus b plus b, 0. That is the 0 of the polynomial. At initially we have written that a was not equal to 0. It is taken initially. Because why? We are dividing a. If a will be 0, it is meaningless. So that restriction is initially there. So minus b by a is possible because from the beginning we have taken that a is not equal to 0. So let px is equal to 3x minus 5. Then what will be 3x minus 5? Px is equal to 3x minus 5. Then what will be the k? K will be simply, this will be 0. This implies 3x is equal to 5. This implies x is equal to 5 by 3. So what is the value? At which value? K is equal to minus b 5 by 3. So at this point, pk, where k is equal to minus b by a, that is equal to 5 by 3. pk is equal to 0. Because 3 into 5 by 3 minus 5. 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, that is the 0 of the polynomial. Means at which point the value of the polynomial becomes 0. In next chapter we will read, but for a linear equation there is only one point. Can you get any other point? Is there any other point except 5 by 3 for which this polynomial will be 0? No. It is only one and only one, that point. In quadratic, when the power is 2, we will get 2 values. When the power is 3, we will get 3 values. In the next chapter, we will read in detail. But for the time, you remember that for a linear polynomial, there is only one 0. And that is the one and only one. No other number will be the 0. Satisfy that equation. Okay. Graphical meaning of the 0 of the polynomial. So graphical meaning means, just prior to going to this, I just want to teach something about the graph. Just it is x-axis, it is y-axis, y dash, x dash. What is x is equal to 0? X is equal to 0 means everywhere the x will be 0. Whatever the point may be take, you cannot take x is equal to 1. Always x will be 0. Where the x will? So x is equal to 0. So x is equal to xy means suppose 0, 1 and 0, 2. Where 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2. Where the point will lie? X is equal to 0 means no, here x will not go to the right side, not to the left side. If right side positive, left side negative. Always x is equal to 0 means it will remain in y-axis. X is equal to 0 means implies it is y-axis. Similarly, y is equal to 0. If y is equal to 0, always at this point that will be x-axis. Y is equal to 0 implies it is x-axis. Any point, anywhere you take. What is the coordinate of y? Neither to upward nor to downward, or to always it is 0. So it is y-axis. Similarly, any point 2, 3. Suppose 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3 means this point. 2, 3. So what is the 0? How we will correlate with the 0 with the geometrical representation of the in class 9 you have read that in ax plus b always represents a straight line. Always represents any linear equation in one variable, always represents a straight line. Let us study the graphical geometry representation of linear and quadratic polynomials and geometrical meaning of their zeros. Note, a linear polynomial ax plus b, a is not equal to 0, always represents a straight line. Let y is equal to px is equal to x plus 1 implies the polynomial is given as x plus 1. That you may take as a function also. Function is a polynomial. Fx is equal to x plus 1. It is a function of x. But as we are reading polynomial, we come to this polynomial. Y is equal to px is equal to x plus y implies px of degree 1. So how we will choose the points? That see here, y is equal to px is equal to x plus 1. X plus 1. How we will choose the points? X, y is equal to x plus 1. Try to always take, first time you take x is equal to 0, second time try to keep y is equal to 0. Always you take 3 points. Why? This is the most important. Always take 3 points instead of 2 points. To draw a straight line, how many points are sufficient? Can you draw a straight line through this point? Yes, we can draw a straight line through this point, but there are so many straight lines can be drawn through this point, infinity points. But through 2 points, only one straight line can be drawn, not more than that. And that is the only one and only one straight line. So suppose where you are taking the points A point and B point. Then you can draw a straight line AB. But during your calculation, suppose by mistake you have done this point as a mistake, wrong point. By mistake, calculation error, error to error is human. We are man means we will make a mistake. We are not machines. We are calculating our own mind and intelligence. Suppose this is wrong, this comes to, instead of this, you take this point by wrong, a dash. You have taken B, you draw this line. You cannot find out that I have done a mistake here, because through any 2 points, you will draw a straight line. But whether A was a mistake, A dash is the correct one, you do not know. But if you take 3 points, suppose this is the wrong, another point was at this point, it is C. So suppose this is C. Now which one will be correct? A dash C B. This line will be correct. Initially what A was taken, that was calculation mistake. Because if A was correct, the line should be gone in this way. But no, line is going in this way. So the point C, A, B, C, whatever you have taken, that is the correct one. So always take the 3 points. It will be easier. It will not take hardly 1 minute to find out another point. But that will save your time, not less than 5 to 10 minutes. So if this will be 0, this will be 1. If this will be minus, x will be minus 1, y will be 0. Then minus 3, 2. So what are the points? 0, 1, minus 0, minus 3, 2. You have taken this 0, 1, minus 1, 0, minus 1, 0, then minus 3, 2. Where it touches the x axis, it touches the x axis at this point, minus 1, 0. It touches the x point. So let this data, the coordinate of x is minus 1 and x is equal to minus 1 is the 0 of the polynomial. What becomes 0? Y means minus 1, 0 is the point where it touches the x-axis. Because if when y coordinate will be 0, it will touch the x-axis. It is obvious. So if minus 1, 0, it is x, this is y. Y is equal to px. So that is the polynomial, that is the 0 of the polynomial. For at what value the value of the polynomial becomes 0? At the point minus 1, the polynomial becomes 0, because this point is taken as y, means px, that polynomial is taken. So wherever the point, any point, x0, x will be the 0 of the polynomial. P1, 0. If this will be 0, P1 will be the 0 of the polynomial. If Q 0, then Q will be the 0 of the polynomial. So any point which touches the x-axis means y coordinate will be 0, the x coordinate will be 0 of the polynomial, where minus b by a is here, minus 1 by a minus a. So initially through mathematical process you have done that, find out x plus 1 is equal to 0. This implies x is equal to minus 1. It is also known to you. But graphically you also arrived at that. At the point of minus 1, it touches the y-axis. That means it touches the x-axis. That means the y coordinate is 0. Means that y means that is the polynomial px. So the graph of a polynomial where it touches the x-axis, that is the coordinate of that x-axis will be the 0 of the polynomial. Now another point. To draw a straight line, 2 points minimum is required. But while computing, just the thing I have narrated earlier, I have written here in detail. While computing the values of y is equal to ps to a corresponding value of x, we can get 2 points. But if there is any mistake in the computation, we cannot detect as by joining these 2 points wrongly. We can draw the straight line which will be automatically cross x-axis at anywhere. If this will cross x-axis wrong, the right also cross the x-axis, but wrong x-axis crosses here, the right crosses here. So their 2 points will be different. So will be automatically cross the x-axis. If we look to the figure, we guess that I have whatever I depicted here, that is written here in details. Third point correct. First point, B is the wrong point. C, B dash is the correct point. Just I have told earlier to you, it is written in, just you read this, no extra thing is there. So always try to draw the 3 points. Okay. Now come to the quadratic equation. This quadratic equation y is equal to x squared plus bx plus c always represents a parabola in this type. If a is equal to greater than 0, it will upward. If a is less than 0, it is downward in this way. So it is touches the x-axis at how many points? At 2 points. So these 2 points, the x coordinate will be the zeros of the polynomial. Because I have told earlier, if a quadratic x power 2, a is not equal to 0, then it is 2 zeros. So y is equal to x square minus x will be 0. Just to find out, instead of 2, you get 6 points. It will be more easier. 6 points. You draw 6 points. I have told you x square minus x minus y is equal to x square minus x minus 2. Always try to keep it 0 or x 0. Then it will be easier to draw the points. Then these are the points. A, C, I have written. Where are the points? A, C, E, F, B, D. Every point is depicted here. Then I have joined the points and I draw. There I have made it in a hand. So it is somehow irregular, but that will be exactly in parabola. If you draw in graph of sheet, you will draw exactly in this way. Okay. So it is clear from the graphs that the parabola y is equal to x square minus cuts the x at 2 points. It is cuts the x at this point, once this at this point, another time at this point. It is 2. Wherever it will cross the x point, that is the 0 of the polynomial, x coordinate. So it is the x coordinate minus 1. So minus 1 is 0. It is 2. 2 is a 0 of this polynomial. So if you just sometimes written here, sometimes the graph will be, it will not cut the x-axis, it just touch the axis at this point. It has no 2 points, but it will be repeated 1. Suppose it is 1, 0. It is a repeated 1, 1, 0. How, where it is possible? X square is equal to x square minus 1 is 0. X minus 1 whole square is equal to 0. That means x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then x 1 and 1. Because for this factor x is equal to 1. For this factor x is equal to 1. So x is repeated. So repeated means it will not cross. It will just touch this point. So the two zeros coincide 1. What are the zeros? 1 and 1. That means only 1 0, but it is twice. So this is the point where it is crossed here, it is crossed here the x-axis. These are the points. From this we can write where the y is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2. Where y is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 1. So minus 1 and 2. So x is equal to minus 1 and x is equal to 2 are the two zeros. You verify, just to verify. What is the polynomial is given? Y is equal to px is equal to x square minus x minus 2. X is equal to minus 1. If x is equal to minus 1, this implies minus 1 square minus 1 minus 2. This is equal to, this implies 1 plus 1 minus 2. This is equal to 0. If x is equal to 2, this will be 2 square minus 2 minus 2, that is 4 minus 4, that is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to 2 are the two zeros. For a cubic polynomial, x cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a, b, c, d belongs to 0, a is not equal to 0, here 3 zeros. Well, I have told earlier that as per the, depending upon the power of the degree of the polynomial, n, there are n roots. Note, a linear polynomial exactly 1 0, a quadratic polynomial 2 zeros, both are different or same. X square minus 4 is equal to 0 implies x is plus minus 2, two different zeros, plus 2 minus 2. X square plus 4x plus 2, this implies x plus 2 whole square is equal to 0. This implies x has two values, that is minus 2 and minus 2. That is minus is twice, 2 times. A cubic polynomial with 3 zeros may be different or same or combined. 3 are different or 3 are same, or 2 are same, 1 is different. Okay. Relation between zeros and coefficient of the polynomial, that is the most important thing. Only for a linear polynomial x plus b, a is not equal to 0, the 0 of the polynomial is x is equal to minus b by a. First we have told you. For a quadratic polynomial, ax square plus bx plus c, if alpha beta are the two roots, then alpha plus beta, the individual roots are not given here. Only if alpha is a root, beta is a root, their summation of the roots is equal to minus b by a, where b by a, b is the coefficient of x term and a is the coefficient of x square term, because it is a quadratic polynomial. Quadratic means x square. For a cubic polynomial, and alpha beta is equal to c by a. For a cubic polynomial, x cube plus b square, it is just a formula. You remind this. What is alpha plus beta plus gamma? Individual alpha, beta, gamma is not given. We have not find out the individual roots. But if alpha, beta, gamma will be 3 roots, because the polynomial 3 means 3 roots. Polynomial power 3 means 3 roots. Alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a. Individual alpha, beta plus beta, gamma plus gamma alpha is equal to c by a. Alpha, beta, gamma is equal to minus d by a, because it comes to d. Achha, example, find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square plus 7x plus this, and verify the relationship between the zeros and the, verify whether it is correct or not. 7x square plus 7x plus 10, x square plus 5 plus 2, we have read earlier in previous class, how by factorization. How will you factorize this? You will factorize in such a way that their summation, because this is plus, so we will read by add. We will add two numbers, we will get 7. We will multiply two numbers, we will get 10. So that will be 5 and 2. This plus, this will be plus. We will not take a minus b. No, a plus b. Two numbers. One is a and other is b. So 5 into 2. So 7 is divided. We can 7 is equal to 1 plus 6, 2 plus 5, 3 plus 4. But in which way we will factorize 7, we will break up 7, which will be factorized. We can factorize that, because our product is 10. Product is 10. This is the product of alpha beta, c by a, alpha beta, this 10. So which will take this? This 5 plus 2 is 7. Out of these 3, which one will satisfy this? Multiply will be 10. Only 2, 5, 10. So now you divide this, then factorize, you will get alpha is equal to minus 2. Alpha is equal to, so x minus alpha is equal to alpha. So alpha plus beta. So what are the values? 2 zeros. Alpha is equal to minus 5. So alpha is equal to minus 5. Beta is equal to minus 2. Okay, because it is plus. If this plus will be 0, automatically x plus 5 is equal to 0 means x is equal to minus 5. X plus 2 is equal to 0 means x is equal to minus 2. Now verify alpha plus beta. is equal to minus 5 minus 2 minus 7, alpha plus minus 5 plus minus 7, that is equal to minus b by a. What is b? 7 minus a is 1, 7. Okay. What is alpha beta? C by a. C is 10, a is 1. 10 by 1, 10. Also in this way alpha is equal to minus 2 into minus 5, minus 10. So the relation is okay. So this relation also okay if you will try through factorization method to find the polynomial when this sum of zeros, roots alpha plus beta and product alpha beta of zeros are given. It is another aspect we will teach tomorrow. Next, in the next class I will teach you in the details. Okay. Thanks to all.